a mono causal factor. Some of them may be multiple. So we can just look at them briefly to see some possibilities in cause and effect relationship. Okay. So we can have this. Conjunctures. In conjunctures to Stephen, this is not just one factor, A causing B. It's possible. But there are some issues that require that 2 factors or 3 factors needed to be there to produce an effect. So if any of them is not there, the effect may not be felt, or at least in the intensity that is happening. So maybe I just give example to just this. We will look at decision making, free mental care, community sensitization, and increased access to referral. Assuming that there is no default decision making, access to referral may not be there. Assuming this paper was done by one of us, Susan, in our joint project we did in different parts of the country. She anchored that one in Kenya with his colleagues. I did one with Fataya and Ayo in Nigeria. But if you remove free mental care and allow only community sensitization, no matter how long you continue to sensitize people, but it's not free, you will not see anybody. Do you understand? But in the combination of this factor, you can see the combination. They are not individual, they are not affected a lot in social sciences. One factor may not actually produce an outcome. For example, poverty. What leads to poverty may not just be economic, whatever, the GDP of a country. Maybe a country may be rich, but it's not also, the poverty is still high there. So it may be something. Maybe leadership may be important. They don't have money, or maybe a global or national level. Individual will be able to plan something and get food and eat. So there may be a combination of factors, all of them present before poverty can. This is just an explanation of the other one. You can see the picture here. And this one was also running. So with this, we were looking sideways. But assuming that one is correct, his chances that that may not happen is there. Assuming he's looking but the door was not open, he can pass. Do you understand? There's elephant crossing, there's also brake failure, and there's incoming vehicle. And even if the elephant is crossing, you can match the brake and get it. Am I right? It's just theoretical. Or assuming that there is brake failure, elephant is crossing, speed driving, but there's no oncoming vehicle, you can swap and continue moving. Do you understand? So, but on its own. There's no economic recession, there's no corruption, but there's war. Tore the country apart. You can see high level of poverty. On their own, corruption can be the major source of poverty, especially in Nigeria. There's no war, there's no economic recession. There's money everywhere. The amount of petrol, whatever, petroleum will sell in the international market every day. What Nigeria produces a day is enough to take care of the whole of Africa, and even more. But there's still poverty. And then maybe only corruption that is single-handedly producing this effect. Okay. All right. They also what we call power dependence. In power, the development of typewriters in the have really, this has endured over time, including our telephone, and nobody knows when it will stop. So why should all technology follow that path? Even a better, we have not even tried another path that didn't work, but it has continued to. Maybe another innovation may even be better, even maybe in our own way of reasoning. This one is even difficult because there's no path.
So if you put your hands
there, so but I was saying why not just do it even A, B, C, D, so that it becomes easier. You understand? So so that even when you don't remember, you should be able to guess where A should be. But it has failed, and that's what we mean by power dependence. Most developmental strides, even our thinking, also follow that kind of power dependence in a way. Okay, all right. Then causal chain is the last we're going to deal with. Causal chain in terms of, it could be very straightforward. Democratic status leading to quality. But we'll say that this doesn't tell us the stories. But it can also solve. Most of the correlational studies will do this with this kind of thing. But it can be more than this. But it's indirect simple chain. Some of them may be more complex than this. It could be series of events. This is a study I did with doing better in service delivery, security service delivery, in terms of those that were appointed were perceived to be doing better. Makes them to create large, sometimes unrealistic projects, security projects, vigilante, We are going to pay in every ward. We are going to employ 100 vigilante groups. We are going to buy vehicles for them and this. They started the bet, was not sustainable. So these projects failed. And the people became more dissatisfied and the perception was low. So this a kind of understanding the mechanism. Why are they really perceiving this local council as less? So this is it. This could be more complex. You could trace them from two major areas. Maybe pressure to perform an expansion of government institutions, you understand? All leading to poor service delivery. So it could be that as regression or whatever. You can also do stories. You can use stories to tell about how these things are happening. Our own, you use stories. You use regression at the first stage, but you use stories to tell what is going on. So we are not saying it's only one method. Don't say here, you are here. It's only for those that are quantitative that can do this, please. Okay, just like the share. An individual is neglected by his parents. He comes to distraught others, and as a result has trouble maintaining friendship, has trouble in school, and eventually gets addicted to drugs. To support his habit, he starts selling drugs and is ultimately arrested and convicted for drug trafficking. We're just looking at how can parents neglect leads to drug trafficking. You can see the chains of events that actually resulted in that. So once you just child neglect leads to drug trafficking, it will not make meaning to many people. They need to know how is it actually producing that. Because you can do some studies and isolate these things, but they may not play out that way. Okay, so we may not have ask or what you need us to clarify, and we can go straight for our lunch break. Yes. Okay, Lillian, please.
Excuse me. When it comes to business research, you use this a lot. Now, each of those parameters are taken as individual, IVs or causes on any of this. So each of them is like, I always want to use it, if you permit me.
Yeah, use it.
We are three of us here. We have Daniel, we have Lynn, and also we have Fina. So Fina is the person who wants to see her character. So when she interacts with Daniel, the way Daniel affects her is totally different. It's not dependent on my interaction. And my interaction with her will actually produce a different character, which is not dependent on Daniel. And the same will apply to Lynn. The way Lynn affects is totally different, which is not contingent on our interaction here.
Good. Lynn, do you appreciate what you say?
Yes.
So the difference between this and may lead to this not happening. So the other one is dependent on the other one to happen. If the person is careful, even if you have opened the door, you can navigate. But the other ones are happening whether they're there or not. It will still produce an effect. Like as he said, for her in economics or political science or whatever, if you are doing something like regression, you bring all the factors to play. But you can decide which of the factors is contributing more than the other. But they're all contributing. But they don't need a combination. In the other one, you need a combination. Anyone that is not there may lead to the effect not happening. Factors in their own right. That's it. Yes? Yes? The next slide. Okay. Very last. Is it on what? Okay. Okay.
The narrative.
This one. Now, this boy who is neglected, you see the neglected and the ends at trafficking. Now, the story in between, is that the story?
That is the C. The mechanism didn't know that's the case. Yes.
I wanted to understand that.
Okay.
Yes.
That's easy. What we did here is to tell a story without a diagram. It can be through a story, it could be diagrammatic, it can be done in different ways. Child trafficking or trafficking in drugs. Look at the reasons why neglect should be able to do that, and you can use through your.
I'm just looking at this with the diagram that you put on C.
Yeah.
In the relationship.
Yes.
Neglect leads to distrust, which leads to troubled friendship, which leads to this. Then eventually you see the drug trafficking, and so I'm actually looking at it with the C, where you put the chain of the four.
As soon as we have opportunity of giving, I know I promise that I'm a repentant person. If not, I'm a repentant person, I would have given you assignment on this. Maybe to convert this to a diagram. But you can do that on your own. When you get this slide, you can just take time and know if you can depict this thing in diagrammatical form. So you can make more meaning. Huh? Okay, all right. Thank you. I think we have been wonderful this morning. Yeah.
quickly, we want from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, and he has been facilitating one of the models. We'll briefly have a short discussion with him and find out what has been happening throughout the sessions and what we should expect in the next few days to come. Prof, you're welcome to AAU Television.
All right, thank you, Sam. I'm really happy to be with you this morning.
Great. Pedal keeps surprising us all the time. We were here some few months ago to catch a training in a period like this.
Okay. PASGA has really been pioneering groundbreaking research, and research that contributes to development is very important. And I think that's what PASGA is trying to do, and that's what we have been doing so far.
Great. So in the researchers, or let's say early career researchers and some astute researchers as well. Now, what is so different for them?
Okay, I think it's a very, very good combination. This intergenerational mix is really important. We have very seasoned, experienced researchers, and we have also very young researchers, some of them starting their PhDs, so which is good, because what we have realized in the past is that especially for African researchers, because of the challenges that we have here, we feel that ethics should be at the base. So we're doing a day model on that. So after that, they'll take elective. Either they do a gender social science research, or they take on the training on research method done by university. That should be a kind of this kind of training, maybe a short training